is up? It is Monday Motivation. If you do not know who I am Pamela, aka Scooter Renee. I am the host of your Monday Motivation tonight, as well as all Monday Motivations. So welcome in. Hey, baby girl. Make sure you do all the YouTubey things like subscribe, ring the bell for all notifications so you don't miss a Monday night motivation, and thumbs up. I would greatly appreciate that if you wouldn't mind doing that. And so let's see. As I said, welcome to the new people. I do auctions Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. So if you are interested in seeing any of that, feel free to come and hang out at any one of those as well. And then all my OGs, welcome back in. I'm glad to see you. I've forgotten to send the notes out. So if you want the notes, let me know especially if you're one that typically gets my notes. I totally forgot. Sorry. And then also my playback crew, I cannot do this without you. So thank you for going back and watching and every time that you do. As always, if you can't make it to a live, that's okay. You can always watch the playback. So I hope everybody's having a good week so far. I know it's only Monday, but hope you had a great weekend. I hope you have some exciting things coming up. I myself am going to go see a teenage heartthrob of mine, Brett Michaels, this Saturday. I am super excited about it. I even ordered a Poison shirt, so I'm going to wear that to the concert and everything. And then Tammy and I are just going to act like two little teenagers, fall in love with him again. So let's see who all is here. We've got baby girl here. Welcome in. So glad to have you. And of course, Darlene and Cool Ranch. I totally forgot to send out the notes. I will get them to you after the show, if that's okay. Because I've already said, well, I guess I can send them to you now if you want them now. Let me know. And then we got Kelly in Texas. Welcome in, Kelly. Welcome. So real quick, just a couple of reminders. Getting closer to the 2,000 subs. So make sure you share this out. Make sure you tell your friends, whoever to come and subscribe. There are going to be major prizes going out when I hit 2,000 subs. So you don't want to miss out on that. And then also on these shorts, I do one typically every other day or so. And I'm doing a hashtag. So last month I gave away free shipping for the month to the winner, which was Lisa D. And so this month will be probably something totally different than that. So make sure you watch each one of those shorts. The ones for March begin with where I make the new hashtag month as the title, new hashtag month, a winner announced. So that'll be the first one for March. So any of those going forward will count. So you can go back in, get your hashtag in, and it will go ahead and count for this month. So, what else was I going to say? Oh, which is why I was running late, because I was checking on growing our sloth. Still hasn't broken yet. It says it'll break in 24 hours, but I'm one of the most impatient people. Like, come on and break already. Like, I want to see some action. It's just still sitting there, So anyway, we'll see how that goes. And I'm excited to let y'all come in and see what happens and everything. Lisa D, welcome in, my friend. So good to see you. So that's what we got going on. We got those two contests or giveaways, whatever you want to call them, going on. So make sure you're a part of that. You don't want to miss out on either one of those. So we're kind of going off track tonight just a little bit to discuss something totally different, because I wanted this to be a motivation channel, but then I also wanted to be a teachable channel as well, to kind of, especially those of you that want to either get into a business, doesn't matter what business you're in, and also, to be motivating for people that don't necessarily want to be in a business or have a business, but they need some motivation. So I kind of wanted to be able to do both. So tonight we're doing the topic on branding. And so when you have a company or a small business or any other type, it's important that you come up with a brand that represents you and your business. So like I have my reselling brand. Harley has her freshies, smell goods, whatever, all those. She has her brand and she's branding herself a little different from how I would brand myself, which is great. That's how we want to do it. And then, Tammy's going to be a reseller, or is a reseller, so she's branding herself a certain way. Cool Ranch as well is starting to brand herself a way. So that's what I want to kind of do, is kind of dig a little deeper in that and help anybody out that's trying to figure out how to brand what they're wanting to represent. It doesn't necessarily mean you got to have a business. You could be representing yourself for anything, for like a job interview or I don't know, a blog, whatever. You could be representing just yourself, but you're still a brand. You yourself are an individual brand. So that's what's on the plate tonight. That's what we're going to be discussing. Any comments are welcome, as long as they're positive comments in the chat. So make sure you join in. Any questions, don't ever hesitate to jump in there. I try to watch the chat as I go. So, all right, let's see. We have our positive spot thought time. Your brand, I thought these were so cool. Your brand is a story unfolding across all customer touch points. Your brand is the single most important investment you can make in your business. This is the one I highly, 1000%, if nothing else I tell you, is what I believe in. If you're going to do something yourself, by gosh, you need to invest in yourself, no matter what level it is, whether it's personal, work, spiritual, whatever. You should always invest in your own self. Hey, Jeffrey, welcome in, buddy. Good to see you. And then we got Jimmy Mack. When are you coming back? Coming in. So welcome in, Jimmy. Now, Robert says we need to sing Jimmy Crack Corn, and I don't care. It doesn't have the same feel, right? Yeah, it doesn't. So again, invest in yourself, invest in your business. A brand for a company is like a reputation for a person. You earn a reputation by trying to do hard things well. And then finally, if you don't give the market the story to talk about, they'll define your brand story for you. And that could be positive and not positive. Definitely, Jeffrey. We will definitely do that. Oh, either one works for you, Jimmy? I thought you were going to say, no, it doesn't have that. No. So I thought those quotes were important for us to, I always like reading quotes anyways, and those just seem so fitting for tonight. So the definition of brand, if y'all didn't know, is a class of goods identified by the name as the product of a single firm or manufacturer and a characteristic or distinctive kind. And we all know what brands are. We know about Nike and Kellogg's, Degree, which I think Degree is something else. Anyways, y'all know what I'm trying to say. My branding, when I was thinking about it for myself, what I want it to be, what I want it to represent and everything, was how can I make people think Scooter Renee, of all things, Scooter Renee, when they see something or hear something. And so at first, it was, how do I take the name Scooter Renee, something that just seems so difficult to do in the first place. Such a different name is not something that's real catchy or anything like that. But I knew that I wanted it to be Scooter Renee because not anybody out there is Scooter Renee. And so it just makes that a little bit easier. But I wanted to figure out how I could take that name and make a brand of it, a logo of it as well. And so I immediately thought of a scooter, obviously, And then for the Renee part, I decided just a girl on her scooter, which is the one y'all see all the time. That's what I came up with. That's what I, put together on a website, and I bought that logo. So that logo is my logo. So that's what I was like, a girl on a scooter. That just makes sense. Scooter Renee. I'm not blonde headed, but it doesn't matter. And then my favorite colors are purple and pink And so that's what my colors are in my logo, in my YouTube title thing. The lights, the neon lights I have here that I have at the flea market, my postcards, my business cards, everything has pretty much the same colors in it. Hey, Cassie, welcome in. Good to see you. So we're going to talk about color in just a little bit. And you might be thinking, what does color have anything to do with it? It has a lot to do with it. And so we'll be talking about that in just a second. So that was my favorite colors, purple and pink. And so that's what I went with. And then I had to come up with a song for my intro for YouTube, obviously. And this is where I probably struggled the most. I knew what I wanted. I knew what I was looking for as far as I knew I wanted an upbeat song that represented my personality and be upbeat as well because of Monday Motivation and so forth. But that was way before Monday Motivation anyways. But after I tried out a few songs, I landed on the one that says, "Let's do this thing." That's not the name of the song, but that's what everybody knows it as. So that's how all that came about. That's how I branded myself. Kind of short and sweet and to the point. You want to keep it simple anyways. So now that when people that know me, that know my channel, when you hear Scooter Renee, you probably picture that girl on a scooter, or you picture the sloth on the scooters right behind me there. If you don't think of that, maybe it's the pink neon signs, maybe it's the colors that you think of. And of course, if none of those, you definitely know my song because I see it being said all the time. Let's do this thing. And people talk about how upbeat it is, how it gets you moving and everything. And so therefore, I'm going to keep that song. I thought about giving it up a little while ago, and I was like, no, I can't, because that represents me and who I am and how I want people to portray me. So anyways, one of those ways is going to make someone think of Scooter Renee. So you want to give a customer a way to think of you when they either hear about you or they hear like a jingle, see something, even smell. And when I say smell, like how many of us have walked in front of Abercrombie and Fitch or one of those type of stores, and my gosh, the cologne is so thick you can see it. But we know that smell. We know that that belongs to them. And so that, certain stores might have a certain smell, and that's how you remember that store because of the smell. Clothes Mentor, they have a smell that I finally figured out was kind of close to it. And I bought the bulb from Bath and Body Works, and I don't think it's the same scent, obviously, but it smells close to it, and I love it. So I have that here at my house. But even smell can play into it. Your senses will pick up on all of these. I understand, Jeffrey. We will definitely be praying. So you see the swoosh sign. Y'all know what I'm talking about, the swoosh sign? And you automatically think of what? Who do you think of when you see that little swoosh sign? I'm going to wait and see if y'all can guess. Y'all should know. Who do y'all think of when you see the swoosh sign? Exactly, Harley. Nike. Right, Jimmy. You don't have to see the word Nike. You don't even have to see the colors. But you know that sign, that logo is Nike. You don't even have to think about it. I love those little logo games where you got to guess what the company is by just seeing the logo. I love those. So let's see. If you see a tiger here, they're great. We all think of Frosted Flakes, right? And so we could go on and on about recognizing a brand without seeing the actual brand name. But what about us? What about us small people? What about the small businesses and how we can make people do the same as they do with big companies, that they recognize us just as much as they recognize the bigger companies as well? Hey, Tammy, welcome in. Welcome. So that is what, we want to be able to take ourselves and make us stand out just as much as what a a big company would get the representation. Granted, it's on a smaller scale, but it's just as important as the bigger scale. I'm not here to make y'all want to change your logo or anything like that. I'm just here to have y'all think, especially those of you that haven't come up with anything or you're thinking about it or whatever. So, how to grow your personal brand? Before you can build a personal brand effectively, you first need to be confident that you understand yourself, what you're representing, what type of business you're doing. All these things you got to take in consideration of how you, what you stand for, and all that kind of stuff. When a business of any size gets its branding right, it's hard to overstate just how many business or how many benefits there are. There are so many benefits, which is why I said it's so important that you invest in yourself. Sometimes that could be a good thing, and sometimes it could be a bad thing. I invested in myself when I was doing real estate, and that was a big flop. But you live and learn how to make it, how to still get your brand out there, how to represent yourself without having to put all your finances into it. But when you do that, there are so many benefits. Customers place more trust in an established brand, but also know other businesses will also be paying attention to any brands that could be a potential rival or ally. And some of y'all have lived through this. I know Harley has gone through this recently. I mean, you learn who your rival is and who your ally is, and you learn quick. You learn about those of you that are going to stand with me or whoever, and those are going to be totally against you. You learn it quick. Hey, Selena, welcome in. Welcome. So you, those people, even if it's not like a big business, those people are paying attention to everything that you post, everything that you put on YouTube, whatever. They're paying attention to see how you're representing yourself. And again, those people can be an ally or a rival. So, Cool Ranch says, I know you all browsing the snack aisle at the grocery store immediately see Cool Ranch Doritos and you think of me, right? Right. Every time. And that's no lie, Cool Ranch. At work, Matt brought back a whole bunch of chips. His kids are picky about what they eat. So for whatever reason, they buy the variety box of chips and then he brings a whole bunch of chips up to work. And of course, part of that is the Cool Ranch Doritos. Every time I get that bag, I do think of Cool Ranch Dorito. I do think of you. So, you might have asked before or asking yourself now, why does branding matter? Why do you need to brand yourself or brand your business or both? But also, I skipped ahead. No, I went backwards. But why branding matters. Building a brand to maturity can take significant investment of time and resources. And Tammy's getting a taste of that as well. And guys, if you never want me to use you as an example, please let me know. But I do try to bring examples to you guys of what is going on. My daughter wants me to start selling my stuff I make, but it's not easy to price and stuff. Yes. That's Harley Harley makes her stuff. And so a lot of things I've told her, you got to take in the time that it's taking you to make it, how much you spent in product, and so forth. What else you've had to, what other overhead expenses you have. And then you've got to make some sort of profit, no matter big or small. And so Harley's been having to deal with that going through, how do I price this? This isn't something that's priced everywhere. It's not something that everybody does. How do I go about pricing this? That's right, Harley. Good job. So, again, going back to what I was saying, Tammy has learned that it's been taking a lot of time because we're doing it together. finding what kind of brand she wants to represent herself, finding what kind of song she really likes, putting together the intro, how we want the intro to look, all that kind of stuff. Now, it's easy when you hire somebody, you give them some ideas of what you want, but when you want to make it truly your own, it takes a little bit more time than that. So time and resources, but I promise you, it is more worth it in the end, even though you might not be able to see that right now. No, but it's so true, Cool Ranch. It is so true. That's right. You have to add all of it. And people, if they're really interested, they're going to buy it. They don't care what the price is. And especially those that realize how much time it does take you to put into that product and everything. That's going to make it worth it to them because they're not having to do it themselves. So the brands that have great reputation can command much more authority. So customers will look to brands that they trust over those that they don't know. So, I mean, a lot of times people will compare, Heinz tomato sauce to Great Value tomato sauce. People don't want to do the cheaper one. They're willing to pay the extra $2 to have the name brand because they know that name brand is good. They know that they stand behind their products and they're going to get the exact same taste every time they open it, right? We've all done that. We've all been there until we were forced to buy something cheaper. Sorry guys, I'm thirsty tonight. So customers are going to look to brands that they know that they can trust and like. Tony Robbins. How many of you know Tony Robbins? A lot of you should have heard of him, should know of him and everything, but he started out small. Yep, there you go. But he started out small. It's where nobody knew him. Why did your message get retracted? I don't see where your message got retracted. I don't know. Usually for retracted, you had to click on that to tell it to remove. That's right, Selena. It's all about word of mouth or good advertising. Exactly. And the word of mouth, if that's all you can afford, then get the word of mouth out there. Get people talking about it. Get people to share you. Tell them why they should, buy from you and everything. So anyways, Tony Robbins, he has built a successful brand just as a life coach. He's not offering a product, just himself as being a life coach because he kept at building his brand. And so he's now one of the top life and business strategists in the U.S. That's right. Word of mouth can go such a long ways, but it can also tear you down in one quick second. All you need is one bad apple out there, and it can sometimes destroy some things, depending on how big you are. That's right. Crafting is a whole different ballgame than reselling. You need to make 1.5 or even 2 times what your product costs. Exactly. Yep. But it can be done. Again, how hard do you want to work at it? How hard do you want to go for this? That's what I always aim it towards is how bad do I want this? How bad do I myself want to succeed, regardless if anybody sees that with me? So brand also gives you a shorthand to use in your marketing as well. So once your customers associate your brand to certain qualities, then you need only to show them your logo and the tech context that you're using it in, and then they can infer the rest. So, we, again, back to the swoosh sign, we know it's Nike. We don't need anybody else to tell us. We don't need to see a commercial. All we need is that little swoosh sign, and that's it. The logo for Starbucks. We don't need anybody to tell us how good the coffee is or anything because most of us already know because it's either word of mouth or we've had it ourselves. So again, we don't need any more explanation of what that product is. So again, once you get yourself established and everything, that's where it's going to pay off because people are automatically going to think of it. Established brands are able to charge a premium for their product and or services. I've been doing this for going on 4 years now, and it's just now that I started having memberships on my channel, and I'm still trying to figure out how I want to carry that. How do I want that to go? What do I want membership to really look like? So I'm thinking on this constantly because I want it to be much more than what it is right now. But again, it's taken 4 years to get there. Now, granted, YouTube just came out with it however long ago, but in order to do that, sometimes you do have to charge a premium to be a part of a special. Branded goods cost more, irrespective of quality. Again, Heinz tomato sauce. I'm still going to buy it. You can tell me that, tomatoes have been recalled. I'm going to buy the Heinz because that's what I know. That's what I like. These customers that know your brand, it provides them with a sense of safety and security. In other words, they know that they are buying from a professional business. And guys, that, if you hear nothing else, that is even for us small people, us resellers and crafters. If you are selling something, or regardless if it's an item or something that you made, by gosh, if this is what you want to do, treat it like a business. If it's a hobby, then just let me know that it's a hobby and I won't expect too much. But if this is your business, if this is your livelihood, by gosh, treat it like a livelihood, a business that you need to make money from. Make it professional as well. Don't come on here and act like a fool and expect people to trust you in that format as well. And don't come on here saying that you're going to do something and not do it. Don't follow through with it. So always present yourself as a professional. And even if it's even at a business, I was a assistant manager at New York and Company and Bath and Body Works. Okay, well, my manager wasn't there all the time. So I'm obviously going to treat that store like it was my own store. Same thing with Tammy at Hometown Country. I'm treating that business as if it was my own very business, and what Tammy would expect is what I expect. And so no matter if it's your own or somebody else's, be professional if you want people to take you serious and to know you as a brand as well. So hopefully that makes sense. Choosing a name and logo is probably the hardest for some, but this is what makes your brand stand out from all the other competitors. There's nobody out there that I know of that has a scooter with a girl on it. So you want to think about what that logo, what you want it to look like. You also want to make it unique from the others that you see. You don't want to have the same thing like everybody else has. I've had people to ask me, they're like, well, Scooter, what do you think their name should be? Or what logo do you think it should be? Or anything, that you could think of. And honestly, I say this every time. Here's my opinion, but this is your business. This is you. Naturally, I can give my opinion, so we all know what opinion means. But there is just no magic formula or for getting these two things right. There's no magic formula for it. So regardless what I even say, might not be right anyways. So it just really comes down to what you are wanting to represent, who you are and everything, and how you want to brand yourself and get yourself out there to people. I'm trying, Cassie. I'm trying. Oh, thank you, Cassie. Thank you so much. I appreciate that, buddy. Always asking about logos, but again, I did name my shop after you and L. And see, when you do something like that, like Scooter Renee, I mean, that was a tough one for me. It's like, how do I take Scooter Renee and make it something that's unique to me? And so that's really all it is to it. You just got to think. Sometimes you got to go outside that box and think about what will get the point across. Like I said earlier, you want to be able to, you want to stand out there with just the shorthand of it. All you see is one logo, and you know who that logo belongs to. And so that's what you want to achieve when you do have that logo and your brand name. Oh, come on, Cool Ranch. So you also need to know who you are targeting, what kind of message you want to get across to them as well. Until you have a good picture in your mind of what your brand is and how you want to present it, there's only so much you can do to get it off the ground. So first part is figuring out what that brand is, what that logo is, before you can even, go from there. Building a brand is obviously no good if you don't tell anyone about it. Here we go with the word of mouth, as y'all were saying. Once you've decided on a name and a logo and you're ready to put your brand out there, you need to do it with some splash. You need to, whether it's a website. Harley's got a website for her freshies and everything. I don't have a website. So I'm behind the curve on that one, where my daughter is ahead of me, right? So I need to figure that part out. But I'll tell you, he's the best word of mouth out there is Tammy. Tammy, I've been there, and she talks about our YouTube channels. She talks about me. She talks about my motivation. It's word of mouth that y'all put it out there, that people come in to see who Scooter Renee is all about. It's word of mouth that people know about who Renee's Freshies is. It's word of mouth that anybody knows who Queen Bean is. Word of mouth of who knows Hometown Country Marketplace and all that. So word of mouth is very, very, very important. Even like in the investment business, we sometimes depend on referrals from other clients so we can keep growing, right? We got to have those referrals so we can grow and not be stagnant all the time. And that's, again, right here, that's what we are. We want to be able to grow outside of our community and keep expanding and not just stay stagnant and only have this group constantly be what represents us. You always want to try to get more and more people. Jimmy Mack, Quilts R Us, yes. And that's on their business card and everything. They even have a QR code on their business card. I know, Harley. I got too many sticks in the fire. So, and building a killer brand is not easy. I don't think Nike went out there and went, swoosh, that's what it's going to be. No, they've had to think about that for a little while. They had to. Apple, when they were trying to decide what company they were going to be, I mean, obviously, when you see Apple, you would have thought of Apple anyways, but, a killer brand is not easy to come up with, to build it and everything. It takes time and money to make it happen. When you go and buy your business cards, you're investing in your business. When you pay for a website, you're investing for your business. When you do free giveaways, you're investing in your business. So always know that you need to invest in your business. It's important. It pays off in the long run. I promise you, if you just keep working it, it will. So we all have a personal brand. So those of you that are not even thinking about selling, those of you that don't even want to have a brand or a logo, you still have your personal brand of who you are. It's what attracts people to you. It's your magnet. It's why some people fall in love with you, and then also why others may dislike you. Good personal brand is essential for success in both business and in life. So pretty much how you see me here is what you see in real life. I am who I say I am. I am authentic to myself. And so how I act here is how I act out in public. It's not anything different, not anything extra special or anything like that. Some of you that have been thinking branding yourself might be thinking that there's so many people doing what I do already. How many of y'all thought of that? There's so many people out there. There's so many people that, already selling what I'm selling. There's already people out there that is promoting themselves the way I'm going to promote myself. There's so many people out there that's, selling vintage items. So, it goes on and on and on. But Selena, the OCD pays off. It's good that you take time to think hard on it and everything. Right, Harley? Harley, I know for a fact, and I only use Harley a lot because she's my daughter and we continuously talk. But Harley was having a hard time with that at first. She's like, there's so many people out there. But I'm like, what are you? Who are you? How are you going to set yourself apart from everybody else? And guys, it can be the exact same daggum, downright to the same product, same ingredients and everything. But what, as you as a person, which is where personal branding does come into play, how do you set yourself apart from everybody else? What do you offer that maybe someone doesn't offer? Is it, and even it can come down strictly to personality. People show up because they like you, they trust you, so trust comes down to it as well. It doesn't matter how many people are out there selling it. If they are not trustworthy, if they are not likable or whatever, then you're going to win every time. And I told Harley, I said, it's a dog-eat-dog world out there. You know how that saying goes? It's just what it is. And it's just business. And I think Tammy as well and Cool Ranch have all heard me say it constantly. It's business. It's just business. You have to take out friendship. You have to take out relationships and realize that it's a business decision. It's a business matter. If somebody's too butthurt over what's going on, then they're putting the relationship into the thing and not thinking about that it's business for you or for themselves. That's right, darling. If you don't love what you're doing, that's when you need to quit. And that's where I'm at right now. I don't love what I do day-to-day job-wise, but y'all know my struggle there. I don't have to go into that. But again, I've always heard, my stepdad always told me, the day you stop loving what you do is the day that you need to quit, because you're not going to put forth the effort like you normally once did when you loved it. Yep. A handshake is your word. That too. Dog eat dog world. Yes, I got it right. So again, so you think everybody's already selling what you're selling. Back to what I was saying before I went off on that tangent. You're thinking of who is going to buy from me, what's going to make me different from them, what's going to help me stand out more than them, for them to think of me first. There are companies, though, however, that have become so saturated with sellers and stuff. But again, if you know somebody and they or somebody that you like, someone that you trust, it doesn't matter how many people are out there selling that one item or whatever. You're going to buy it because you like them, you trust them. It's something that you can use, whatever it may be. All right, sound good, Jeffrey. So that's something else to be thinking about. That this is why branding is so important as well, because that's what's going to set you apart from other people. Those that don't take their business literally is what's going to set you apart from those people, because people are going to see you as a business and they're just going to see the other ones just playing around. It's not as big of a deal to them as it might be to you or myself. As for money, you're worth it. All right, so like I mentioned earlier, people either think about a girl on a scooter, they think of me when they say or hear, let's do this thing, because of the song that I chose for my intro, and some even may think of the color scheme. Now, I think that's on a lesser scale, but you might think of me with purple and pink and everything. But believe it or not, and this is what I was telling y'all earlier, believe it or not, color does have a psychological impact on what we think and how we feel. So we'll look at my colors. And I found this to be very, very, very interesting, and how very, very fitting for my business that it fit. So it'd be interesting for y'all to take your colors and see, if there's a dominant. Usually, companies will have 2 or 3 dominant colors in their brand, their logo. So take those colors, look them up, see what they stand for, what they represent, and how many other companies have used that same color. You're getting there, Cool Ranch. You're getting there. Also, just because they sell the same doesn't mean you have the same audience. That too, that's another thing I told Harley. I said, you're on a totally different level when you come on YouTube. You're getting your name out there even more. So those are just strictly using Facebook. I mean, you have to stretch. You have to get into groups. You have to think of ways that you can advertise yourself that nobody else is possibly doing. Awesome, darling. I don't know, Selena, because I know what colors you like too. So, as purple has always been thought of as a royal color, right? But there are positive attributes and personality with the color purple: wisdom, wealth, spirituality, imagination, and sophistication. So if you think of brands that use the color purple, you think of Cadbury, you think of Yahoo, you think of Hallmark, FedEx has purple in it, Taco Bell used to not be purple, but now they're purple, right? So you can see those. And Cool Ranch, I would be interested to see red and green. Yes. Hey, Christy S., welcome in. And Barnwood floor. I don't know if there's a color for that. So those are what purple, that's the positive attributes and personality with the color purple. So now let's look at pink. And pink is more dominant for me than purple is. Believe me, I love pink. Hey, Robin. Hey, Demetrius, welcome in. Doing good. So the pink that I use can be thought of as a feminine color, right? And it can be very impactful, especially when you get into the magentas and stuff. It's a positive color that inspires comfort and represents hope. So the colors pink attributes and personality are imagination, passion, caring, creativity, innovation, and quirkiness. And I'm like, that is all me. It's crazy how your colors will represent who you are. What, Demetrius? Tell me. So companies like T-Mobile, they use the pink to set them apart from the others. So AT&T is blue, and Sprint used to be yellow and black, and Virgin is red. I mean, even these companies you think of, you can even think of what their colors are, what their dominant color is. And so T-Mobile took pink and totally made it stand out. That's right. If you believe in someone, you'll go through the fire with them. Exactly. If they're having a bad time, you ride that wave with them and continue on. So brands that successfully have used pink, Barbie, obviously, T-Mobile, Victoria's Secrets, and Cosmopolitan magazine. So all of those have, used pink. So color does play a part when you're doing your branding. 3 subs on my channel adventures where I do explore things. So excited. That's awesome, Demetrius. Love it. So picking the colors for your branding, you might see what these colors will represent for your brand. See if it fits you. See if that is what actually says about you, which I feel like purple and pink definitely says a lot. It totally fits my personality and everything. So to finish this out, we're going to look at 9 brand elements that you should consider. These are short and sweet. You might not use all these, but they are something to consider when you are branding yourself. There are 9 different elements. So number 1, logo. As I stated earlier, it needs to be simple. 1 or 2 colors, no more than 3. I'm always telling Tammy, KISS, keep it simple, stupid. Stupid part doesn't really fit, but keep it simple. Quit overthinking it. Don't. Number 2 is fonts. You want to choose either 1 font or no more than 2 fonts that represent your brand. So all my fonts are pretty much that quirky, I'm trying to get my finger pointed right direction. That quirky writing right there, the fun, feminine writing as well. All of my stuff pretty much represents the same font every time. Might be called something different, but it's still there. Thank you, Demetrius. I appreciate you, buddy. So fonts have a personality, and they say a lot about your brand as well. Next is the color palette. Again, this can have a huge impact with the psychology and the strategy behind what you do and what you have to offer. And then pattern and texture. So this is things like Louis Vuitton. They have their print. You know that's Louis Vuitton without someone telling you that it's Louis Vuitton because of the pattern that they use on their purses. And you know the item and its brand. When you see a scooter pattern, like I have that torch shirt, it's got scooters all over it. I would think most of you would think of myself or my channel. But just like that shirt I wear, it has a lot of scooters on it. And there's many, many, many more out there that use a certain pattern, like Kate Spade uses the spade and so forth and so on, that you just know that that's who that is without having to see a word or anything. Photography and animation. There are a ton of these out there, but you want to choose one style and use it consistently across all your brands, touch points that can help solidify how your brand is recognized. And when people come across it in your brand and across all of your brands, touch points. So it's touching everything and it's continuous no matter where they see it at. Illustration. Number 6 is illustration and iconography. I'll get it out here in a minute. Just like the photography, there are a million on these. You want to choose one that goes along with your brand and it syncs with your logo and your visual elements that are in your color palette and so forth. But using that really consistently can be a way to establish a vocabulary for your brand that makes it become recognizable. Number 7, sound. So again, my music for my intro, my outros is upbeat. It gets you moving. It has the phrase, let's do this thing. You hear that, you know that Scooter's intro. You know what's about to happen. So when you see people type in chat or hear it out in public of let's do this thing, hopefully it triggers with to you guys to think of me as well. So, because I see it in chat all the time. And I'm like, hey, that's my line. It's not my line. I don't own it. Anyway, number 8, layout. Using the same layout of your brand is another great way to establish a strong brand vocabulary that people are going to be able to recognize. So the layout, I use that girl on a scooter on everything that I touch, everything that I use. You're going to see that. I use the same type of font no matter what. It's that same font at the flea market, here, on my business cards, on my postcards. It's all the same font. So the layout is so very important that people automatically think of you. Number 9, tone of voice. This is one that people kind of don't think about. A lot of is the tone of the voice. Does your brand sound formal? And this is what I mean by tone of voice. Does your brand, that would also be fitting right now. Does your brand sound normal? Does your brand sound formal? Or does it sound jokey? Is it informal? Is it funny or is it too serious? What is the voice of your brand? Scooter Renee. Kelly in Texas. That's what I hear every time, So, Jimmy Mack, when are you coming back? That's what I always sing. That's what I hear. So your brand also has a voice. What is a tone that you're setting for everybody to recognize you? Repetition. Yes, Tammy. Awesome, Selena. And then there is one more to think about. One more. This is the bonus. It is personal style. This is one of the elements that I started to think about. When I go live, whether it's a Monday motivation or an auction, or when I record a short or I do a video, you all know I love red hair. And in fact, Rev gave me the nickname Little Red. But you all know that I like vibrant colors as well. And what really expresses my personality. And then probably the second thing you think of is my glasses. So again, this is my personal style. Again, the hair is always going to be red, whether long or short, or it's going to have some sort of red playing in there, or pink. And then my glasses as well. These are rose gold. Watch is rose gold. You can pick up, hey, she likes rose gold. So your personal style is important. You can also associate this with how someone dresses. If you think of Marilyn Manson, of all people, you all know what he looks like pretty much. Legally Blonde is the one I can think of. Is always pink and blonde hair, So you can associate how someone dresses, regardless if they never wear makeup or whatever, but how do they dress? Do they dress professionally? Do they, does their channel represent how they dress as well, how they look, so forth. But even this element can set a really strong brand element. And once you have all these elements together, what you want to do is pull them together in one place to see how they work, how do they look, and how do they feel all together in one. Right, Selena? Hair, yeah. This is not my natural color. It will probably never be my natural color because I find my natural color to be boring, which is dark dishwater. What is that called? Dirty blonde? I never can get it right. I think one day I said dishwasher blonde, but y'all know what I'm getting at. So there you have it. Some of these things you might want to think about and ponder on. Again, don't make it hard. Keep it simple. Very, very simple. So guys, thank you for tuning in tonight. Is there anything you guys would like to talk about real quick? I know we've kind of been discussing throughout the whole night. So just let me know real quick in chat. And that really dawned on me when I read that part about personal style. I was like, oh, yeah, red hair. Mm-hmm. How much do I really love red hair? Right, Jimmy? Love it. Jimmy, I think about your hoops that you have. You're so very welcome, Tammy. All right, guys. Thank you all for being here. Tomorrow morning, I will be on with Nana Tink at 10 a.m. Central, 11 a.m. Eastern on my channel. So make sure you come and hang out with us. Then tomorrow night, I will be on with Timeless Jewels by Deborah. She'll be with me and Roflo at 8 p.m. Central, 9 p.m. Eastern. And then Wednesday night, I will be on with Virtual Shopkeeper Dee Dee and Dream Chaser Tammy. We'll all be on together. That will be at 7 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Eastern. And then Thursday night, as always, my buddy Cool Ranch is going to be with me. And we always start either 7:30 p.m. Central, so 8:30 Eastern. So make sure you guys tune into all that. And Harley saying cough, cough. Yes, tomorrow morning, Harley. Tomorrow morning. Where would you? I'll just have fun with it. Yes, there you go. Awesome, Robin. And then Harley and I will be on sometime Sunday. I haven't made a thumbnail. I haven't set a time, so just be paying attention to that. But Harley's got some new products and everything that she wants to show, so we will be on together. If you just want to come and hang out and laugh a whole daggum lot, come and watch me and my daughter. We feed off each other very well. So, all right. Anything else? Thank you guys for being here, as you pretty much all y'all usually are. I appreciate so much. I will get the notes out to those of you that I always send the notes to, so those are coming as soon as I finish. Thank you again for being here. Your support means more than anything to me, so I appreciate every week that y'all show up. Now get to branding yourself and let's do this thing. Bye, guys.
Okay, let's do this thing.